Hello. Oh.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming.
My goodness, look at this. Front and center.
So I wrote out all these questions, but Lulu told me a story that made me laugh just before we started. So I'm going to make her start there, which is Lulu has just become an American citizen.
Yes, thank you.
And I want to hear about your interview.
Oh, at the immigration office?
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm allowed to? Okay. So I went through my interview, supposed to be doing my biometric. The officer says that, oh, you've been here 37 years, do you want to take the test on spot? I'm like, okay. He said, like, if you don't pass, I'll give you the study guide, go home and study. So I said, okay, I'll try. So we started the interview because you own the restaurant. Where's your restaurant? I said, in Monson. What's the name? I said, the Quarry. And then they look at me like, are you Lulu? I was like, yes, I am Lulu.
Whoops.
I've lost you.
Oh,
So
okay.
Sorry to pause. We have a couple of technical issues.
All
I've
right.
lost your mic. And it's hard for people to see you because your
Oh, my
is
hat.
casting a shadow.
Okay, should I just take my hat?
Okay.
There we go.
That's transmitting. Let me see your mic.
So there.
We're good.
Yeah. Should we?
I
This
keep
is my husband, my
Yep.
son.
Yep.
He's a maniac. There. Now you can see.
Yes, now we can see you. So how many of you have a show of hands here? How many of you have been to the Quarry? Oh, a good number.
Oh my goodness!
All right.
Look at everybody.
And how many of you know kind of a little bit about Lulu's story and how she ended up getting some no's? All right, we'll start there. Tell us
Yes.
a little bit about where you grew up and how you ended up coming to the U.S. and how you ended up coming to Maine.
So I grew up in Mindanao, the poorest island in the Philippines. I live in the barrio. I live like the little house in the prairie, kind of. No running water, no electricity. We live in a farm. Then after graduation high school, I want to go somewhere because there's nothing there really. And you can't go to college because there's no financial aid. So either you go to work and then go to school. So I went to Manila and become a maid. So I work as a maid. Even when I was in Manila, I'm already dreaming about American car. You know, like the Knight Rider, Pontiac Firebird.
You even knew which car you were dreaming about?
I did because Knight Rider, I don't know if you guys remember Knight Rider, right? David Hasselhoff. And when we have a day off, all maids, we watch the show. And I used to say, someday I'm going to have a car like that. And
I thought most people were saying someday I want to have a guy like that.
I don't know.
That's what I was saying.
I want a car like that. And they always used to say, like, keep dreaming. I was like, how are you going to go? That's in America. I said, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Remember? That's what I said. But
So?
I came to the United States. My first husband brought me here because he was stationed in the Philippines. So we live in North Carolina. And then when I work at a sewing factory. So when I have enough money, so I went and see if I can buy that car now because I'm in America now. And I did. Yeah. So that's when I realized that, like, I can have anything I want if I just show up and go to work. And this is America, right? You can have everything you want. Just show up and work for it. And here I am. I have my restaurant.
So wait, there's a bit of a
Oh,
gap.
yes.
How did you get from?
Well, I got divorced, and then I met Bill. He's stationed at Fort Bragg. He's a paratrooper. Yeah, so that's where we met. And I think, darling, I'm going to say it anyways. I think I went out the first time with our friends, and he went out with his friend too. And then he said that when I walked in, he told his friend and said like, I'm gonna get her. And his friend goes like, oh, here we go again. But we met, and then the rest is history. We met at the first time I went out, and we met, and now
And he brought you to Maine.
he brought me to Maine. I think it was Christmas, and it was like snowing, and it just, I mean, a lot. And I was going like, and we came I think at night, and it was just like the snow is so white, and I said like, you live in a winter wonderland.
Had you seen snow before?
No, I seen a little bit in North Carolina.
Yeah.
But I always seen it in the postcard, like Thomas Kincaid postcard, like it's so pretty, a little house and like the lights and the snow. And I used to wonder like, do they really live like that? So then he brought me to Maine, and that's the first thing I saw. I'm like, oh my God, you live in the winter wonderland. And maybe he thought I don't like it, but then he asked me, you like it? I said, yes. So he brought me back, and that's the summer. And then, of course, the lake is like open up, and the mountain and the water.
Right.
And I said, you really live in paradise.
Huh.
So we went back home to North Carolina, and then he proposed. I said, yes. Because I guess he brought me here to see if I like Maine.
Right.
So he didn't have problem getting the answer yes, hello, we're still together.
And what year did you actually move to Maine?
We moved here in 97.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now tell me, so that's sort of a little bit of your background as but tell me a bit about your background as a cook. When did you start to cook?
I've always cooked because I remember I worked as a maid in the Philippines, and you cook. I'm a live-in maid, so I cook 3 meals a day, do the laundry, clean the house, take care of their elderly father and their adopted son. And that's my life as a maid, is like run the house every day because they all go to work.
Yep.
So I've always cooked.
And did you learn on the job, or did you have a mother who was a wonderful cook? Or
my dad.
Your dad?
Dad is a good cook. I always watch him cook. And plus, they teach you early on in the Philippines to cook. You know, like first, second grade, you already know how to cook rice in a little pot and 3 rocks, and you put them in there in your wood.
Both boys and girls?
Boys, both.
Boys also?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
And did you like cooking right from like of your various duties, taking care of the father and taking care of the babies and cleaning house and cooking? Was cooking your favorite?
I've always liked to cook. I always like to try new things, especially when I was in Manila, because I have more product to work with. Because back home we're poor, so we go fish in the river and vegetable, and that's all you get to work with.
Yeah.
So I think maybe I kind of developed it more when I was a maid.
Yeah. And did you think, you describe yourself as a maid, did you ever think of yourself as a cook at that point?
No, because it's part of the job really, that to just like cook different things.
Yeah.
But when I came to America, I continued to cook. I used to invite people to our house. And then even when I met Billy, that in our little apartment, every weekend I used to cook, and he would invite all the young military to come and, eat our. We're always entertained.
Yeah.
And now that's our job. Now it's still entertained, but we get paid for it now. A little bit.
And when you were cooking, when you first came to America, were you cooking Filipino dishes? Were you cooking were you trying American food?
I was trying both, because I was trying to learn your food, American food, because this is like kind of culture shock for me also, because my first meal, like a big meal, American food, like they ordered me like, I think it's the porterhouse. I look and like, is this all for me? And it was like, yes. I'm like, oh, I could have feed the village with this one. That was one of my like cultures. And pizza for dinner. Oh, like, pizza for dinner.
When should one eat pizza?
Because back home it's only for, I guess, when I was there, it was for like snack, a special occasion and stuff. Because back home you always have like you have the rice, fish, or vegetable.
Yeah.
It's like a complete, you know.
Not just the one.
Not just like one or get a hamburger.
Right.
No, we actually, you know.
Right.
Eat like I guess they used to in the old days, you know, that you.
So now you went to cooking school much later than all of this.
Yes.
Right? You went to cooking school when you were in your late 40s?
48, because I graduated at 50. They
And
gave me a big party.
like why? Why? Most people at 48, you know, maybe they're starting to think about retirement or the next chat. What made you think I want to go to cooking school?
Because I think, well, because first of all, I wasn't from here. I was born in the Philippines. You don't really get a chance to go up in the culinary world if you don't have a degree in culinary arts. Even though you might be able to outcook the chef they have,
Right.
you still be just like below them because you have no culinary arts degree.
Interesting.
So-
And did you feel like what did you learn? Like what did you think you would learn, and did you learn it at school?
I learned their culinary lingo, like their mirepoix or, you know, things, and all the mother sauces.
Right.
And I told my chef, I will never remember that because I won't be using it. You know, because I can't use all the mother sauces on my Asian twist because we don't use a lot of, but I know all the chef over there is gonna be mad at me. But it's true though, because because of your style of cooking.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't really need bechamel on a stir fry. Right? And it makes sense, right?
Fusion.
So it still doesn't fuse. I don't think, you show me how to fuse it.
Now, you told me also just when we were chatting before we started that you've just been asked to speak at the graduation ceremony, to give the commencement speech
and I said
at your
yes
culinary
before.
school. You said yes.
Yes. And I said yes, and I'll figure it out later.
I was going to say, so what are you thinking you might advise the culinary students?
Just gotta, have passion and show up for work. You can't be, if you're on the line, don't be calling like I'm sick today. That's the end of your career. It's 24/7 almost for us. You can't just go get a job and you want to be the executive chef and then say, hey, I'm going on vacation, so get the sous chef, work for me. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think for them, they have to really have passion, the drive to make it out there or to show their style, their niche, what the capabilities of doing things, or they might know something that we don't know yet in culinary world. Who knows?
And you said to me when I wrote a profile about Lulu, I guess about, I don't know, not quite a year ago, and you said to me that you didn't think of yourself as a chef, you thought of yourself as a cook. Has that changed?
No. No, I can't put myself up there with, I know my husband's gonna be mad at me because he said, yes, you are a chef. I said, no, I'm not a chef. A chef for me that's so high. That's high level of, know a lot of things about in the culinary world, in the kitchen. And maybe someday, but I'm still learning. I can't call myself a chef yet because I don't know everything.
But does a chef know everything? Does anybody know everything?
I guess some of them know, because for me, I think for me, a chef is really done a lot up there, that they've done their work. To be, I guess, deserving of that title.
Oh.
Because it's a lot of learning and being a chef.
And speaking of learning, I know you often hire fairly young people to work with you in the kitchen. Do you feel like mentoring
That's
is
what
important
I
to you?
think I do at work. I've always teach them. Even now my sous chef, because he used to work at the a pub.
Yeah.
Now he's work with me now, so I've been trying to teach him, you know, and I think that's what me being a cook is like to teach the young ones. This is how you do it, and of course I always tell them that you always gotta be humble because you always have so much more to learn. Because I'm still learning myself.
Yeah.
Not just for cooking, but you know where you get your resources, or are we gonna be able to maintain this, you know, how we do in the kitchen if we get a product, or you know, to do what we're doing right now.
Yep.
So it's a lot of teaching for me when we're working in the kitchen.
And I'm going to go backwards a minute because how did you come to found the Quarry? The Quarry is about 6 years old now.
Oh, 6 years.
6.
Yes, in June.
June. Okay.
I guess I was lucky enough to be in that town when Libra Foundation came to Monson
Yep.
for artist residency, and go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, does everybody know about this? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I was still, I think, working at Blair Hill Inn, or I quit at Blair Hill Inn. And they come and they're working all this building. They said it's gonna be, you know, residency, but I didn't know what was going on. And then I think I asked one of the project manager, I was like, if they're gonna open a restaurant, I said, I know how to cook. I can run the restaurant for them. Like, no, they're not having a restaurant. But then they start asking about, they need a chef. So I asked this project manager, can I send a resume? And said, yeah, sure, send a resume. But they said, we want a chef, but we don't want cafeteria food. And I said, like, what kind of artists are you bringing in town? You know, just like, not cafeteria food. They said, well, we wanted something different. So they have to, I think they asked for a simple menu because they said not cafeteria food, right? So I give them a simple menu like a la carte, and then they go, or no, it's like I think the one I send them is just like a prefix menu. And they're like, no, that's too much. They're not ever gonna eat
Do
all
any
that.
art.
You know, it's just like, we just want a simple but not cafeteria food.
Okay.
I'm like, what? I said, well, I don't cook cafeteria food. I cook fresh, you know, food.
Yeah.
And I don't buy pre-made stuff. I make everything, including salad dressing and all this stuff. So I had to cook for them for testing.
Oh, like a tryout.
Tryouts.
Do you remember what you made?
Well, they don't want me to cook like elaborate things.
Yeah.
So I did just like the dessert, and I think I did charcuterie and some other Asian Filipino food and stuff.
And that's a good question because you were just mentioning stir fry, not putting bechamel on. So
Sorry.
So how would you describe your style of cooking at the Quarry?
I think mine is not, like I said, that I don't use those sauces.
Yeah.
I make my Asian sauce like I would use coconut instead of sometimes if I have lactose
Intolerant?
people, yes, and gluten free, and
Yeah.
I would use gluten free for popovers. I would use gluten free, and then I use coconut milk instead of milk.
And I tasted those and they
You
were
love it.
really delicious.
Yeah,
Definitely
so-
gave
and I use-
regular popovers a run for their money.
It is
Yeah.
pretty good. It took
Yeah.
me a while to get it right, but now I got it right.
Yeah.
You know, so it's good. And I use a lot of ginger.
Okay.
Like if sometimes I make like kind of the artists love this, especially in the winter. I don't know if anyone knows congee. It's like an Asian porridge with chicken and ginger. Did you have that before? You probably did. But I use a lot of fresh ginger
Yeah.
and then onion, and I use a lot of I like our rice, of course, and a lot of vegetables. And eat with our fine dining, I also kind of incorporate our fruits
Yeah.
and vegetables, like candied pineapple, candied,
So give me an example, like what dish might a candied pineapple show up in?
Sometimes it's on our lamb, actually, with anchovy butter, with with a charsiu sauce.
Yum.
So it's all everything light. That's my Asian twist.
Yeah.
I candied the pineapple, you know.
And do you look through recipe books or get online? And how do you come up with these?
I look online and I see something I like and I change the components of the dish.
Yeah.
But it takes me a while also to get it the way I want it, that has the Asian flavor on it without drowning, for example, your proteins, for example, your lamb. You
Yeah.
can still taste the lamb, but with the other component of the dish would be like have Asian flavor.
We shouldn't have done this at dinner time.
I know, like, 5 spice and all that stuff.
I love 5 spice. So how do you juggle? So you're feeding the artists who are coming for residencies to Monson for art. I think they're 3-week residencies.
Yes.
And you feed them lunch and dinner every day.
Yes.
And then you're also running a fine dining restaurant. How do you do that juggle?
Oh, I know. I go to work sometimes 4:00 in the morning.
Whoa.
So
In the winter, in January, in Monson?
Yes.
Wow.
But Billy have to take me in the winter. So he
gets up too.
Yeah, he gets up and take me to work and then drop me off, and then I'll be there. And then he'll come around 11 and help me, feed the artists.
Yeah.
So I feed them, and then when I feed them, get their lunch, I start prepping for the weekend for the restaurant.
Okay.
So every day I prep a little bit of something.
And I know I said fine dining restaurant, but again, when I was talking to you when I was visiting the Quarry, you were very insistent it was fun dining.
It's fun dining. Fine dining is too formal, I think. I mean, we're in the boonies, right? It'd be too scary to go, let's go have fine dining in Monson, right?
And this was also something that was mentioned to me by somebody else, but I have to ask you if it's true, that you really do sometimes enter the dining room on are they called
On hoverboard? Yeah, sometimes I do. I'm practicing just in case we get, some of my crew doesn't show up, so I'll be like the ratatouille, pour wine on every table. So, yeah.
And you come out often. Do you come out every night after?
Every night
Every night.
after.
And why? Why is that important?
Because I think now a lot of our guests now is like, they want to come and eat and they also want to meet Lulu. Because Billy sometimes like, you need to get out there because they've been waiting too long, they're getting ready to go. I was just like, okay, I'm coming out. So, and then when I go out and they're so happy and they're clapping, I'm just like, oh my God, we're having a party.
And did that change because you won this James Beard Award? Is that different? Something that's just happened in the last year?
I don't think it changed. I mean, we have more, I guess, people making a reservation now and come all the time now, but I don't think the way we take care of everything else, like, we're still the same. I'm still Lulu.
And I remember asking you the night you won the award whether you thought it would change, and you said, I hope not. Is that still your feeling?
We're trying not to go with the flow that, I guess we have to change. No, because I still control the traffic. I still didn't add numbers of reservation. We're still doing the same numbers like before the award.
Yeah. And control the reservation. So you go in and you have, all of you who've already eaten there know this, but you don't turn tables.
No.
So tell me how it works.
So we have 2 sittings, 6 and 6:30. We don't get another sitting so when 6:30 is done, we put another one. No. They can stay there. until, if they want to wait for me until I send out my last entry for the 6:30 sitting. So then that's what we do. Some people, they stay there until I go out.
Right.
You know, because it's, a lot of people like it because they said it's relaxing. You're not being hurried. And you don't see people right by, you know, the door waiting for someone to get up.
Looking at your
Yes. And then of course our customers like feel like obligated to get up because people are waiting. I don't like them to be feeling that way.
And
Yeah.
this award you won was for outstanding hospitality, so you're touching
Yes.
on it there. How would you define what is outstanding hospitality?
I think it's a big definition though. It's not like I could have just done just like best chef, because that's it. You're best chef, you know, and Northeast. That's a big deal too. But outstanding hospitality is just like you're not just taking care of your crew, but also your customer, and you have to take care of your community, and you have to continue to, you know, I guess for me to teach the young, you know,
Yep.
crew that's coming in. It's a big responsibility.
What is bad hospitality?
Oh God.
Like, what's the thing that you know, like the worst that you can go into a restaurant for the meal, and the worst thing that might
Do
happen?
you really want to go there? Oh, wait, I tell you an example. I'm not gonna say.
All right,
The bad
all right.
hospitality is like when a server come to you and say, "Shall we clear the table so we can put your appetizer?" When they give you a table this big,
Right.
and then you have your fork, your glass, your wine glass, your fork in there, and everything else, and then they come and tell you to clear your table so I can put down your appetizer. That's a bad hospitality.
And have we all had that happen?
And don't you just like, you know, I like rude. So I actually did that. I picked up all my stuff and I went like this and said, go for it.
I won't ask you where.
No. No, it was just, it's bad. I mean.
And is hospitality, do you feel like there's a different definition in the U.S. from the Philippines?
I don't know, because I think for me, I kind of brought my culture the way I run my restaurant. Because back home, you're welcome. When you come and visit us, you're part of the family. You eat first before our family if you're a visitor in our house. Even though we don't have much, but we'd rather give it to our guests than like we eat if there's leftover.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. Even if you come to not the restaurant, even when we live in North Carolina, that's what I did with my husband's friend and everything. It's always been like that.
Huh.
You know, that you eat. You always eat. Even you ask my kids, they always like, Mom, always have food. And if they didn't eat it all, I'm always packing it for the kids to take home.
Right.
So I think it's the nurturing
Yeah.
of your guests.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, I share my food. The food is way of my nurture for my guests. I mean, that's how I do the hospitality.
Yeah.
And, you know, get to know them. I like smile. I love people. And can you tell I love to talk too? Right? So.
And when you first, I know it goes through a process to get it. First,
Yes.
there's a semifinalist, and then there's a nominee, and then there's the winner. How did you hear that you were even being considered for a James Beard Award?
I didn't really know. I think what happened was like one of our guests, the regular in the restaurant, he sent it to our Facebook page.
That's how you found out?
No, this is funny actually, because I was home grooming our little dog, and my daughter, you know, because I had a day off, so I was
rare day off.
Grooming, and my daughter like, she opened the page and like she goes, Mom, I'm like, he goes, what? Are you in some kind of contest? I'm like, no, what? And she goes, well, this guy, James Beard, said you're nominated for like outstanding hospitality. And I just like, I grabbed the phone and like, give me that. Like, don't joke around. And then she looked at me like, oh, who is he? And I'm just like, oh my God, like this is the Oscar of like food industry and hospitality. And it goes like, what? Like, you never talk about it. I said, no, because that's for elite chefs and elite, like, I mean, we're in the boonies. I mean, that's for like fancy restaurants in New York, LA, Chicago. That's when I just like, are you kidding me? That's when I like, wow.
So you just found out by someone, a customer posted it on your Facebook page.
She sent us the link, and my daughter happened to open it. I'm like,
wow.
This guy said I'm nominated.
Okay, now for the next stage, when they narrow it down from the semifinalists to the nominees, how did you learn about that?
I think we were sitting around in the restaurant because I have an appointment that day. I had my physical that day at Monson because we have the medical building in Monson. So my daughter like opened up again and just like, oh, Mom. I said, what? You're the only one to the final. I'm like, what? I like, no, you're kidding, right? And he said, no, Mom. I said, the Quarry is the only one made it to the final.
The only Maine restaurant.
There were
a lot
Maine,
of, about 13 or 14.
13, yes.
From
Maine.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and I said, like, no way. And they said, yes, you're the only one from Maine that made it to final.
And not only the only one from Maine, but a lot of the restaurants are nominated for something called Best Chef Northeast.
Yep.
And not to belittle that, because that's a huge deal.
Yes.
But you're just judged against chefs from the Northeast. Whereas for outstanding hospitality, it was the entire country.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Yes.
Okay, now tell me about the trip to Chicago. Who went? What happened? I understand there was a luggage issue.
Oh my God, this is so funny. Yeah, my daughter and her boyfriend, Bill and I, went to Chicago. We got there, and then they lost our luggage. And then we kept
Did it
calling
have because the Beard Awards are quite fancy.
Fancy.
Yeah.
And
so did it have your dress? In the luggage?
Yeah, it was until like the day off, I think.
And so were you
award.
like frantically looking for an outfit?
Well, no, because the guy, the customer service at the airport said like, oh, we send it out, it's coming, and they even sent you a tracking, you can track it.
Okay.
But then like that evening, my daughter said like, yep, it's gone, we can't track it anymore. So we went back to the airport. I said, where is, we'll just come and pick it up because we're going to the award that night, And it goes like, we really need the clothes. And the customer service goes, if you really need the clothes, you can go buy a new one, then we can reimburse me. Like, we got all kind of money to go buy a new one, But the funny thing was, but we got our luggage, I think, that afternoon.
Yeah, the afternoon of the ceremony.
Yes, ceremony.
Cutting it close.
Yes, it's getting close. But the funny thing is, like, of course, you've probably seen it on the James Beard, that American Airlines is the one giving me the outstanding,
Is the sponsor of the award?
Yes, they're the one that gives me the outstanding hospitality, right?
And that's also the flight you were on?
That was the flight we were in, but I didn't say anything until, because I wasn't gonna ruin my moment with the luggage being lost by American Airlines, that they're the one that give me the award. But then when we went backstage, because we had to take photo op and everything, and the two ladies right side by side, and I grabbed them both in the end, like, oh, by the way, ladies, I gotta tell you a story, a funny story. I'm like, hey, what's that, Lulu? Like, it's ironic that you gave me the award for outstanding hospitality. I said, but your plane lost our luggage. It was kind of funny. And then They whispered one another like, "Oh my God, what we're gonna do?" And then I don't know if the vice president of marketing said, "Thanks for playing it cool out there." I said, "No problem." I said, "I wasn't gonna ruin your plane, ruin my moment, you know." So it was so cool. They were so nice, but I guess they were kind of embarrassed a little bit, you know. But it was fun.
Okay, so we have to stop and let the audience ask some questions, but I just want to
yes.
ask a couple last questions. One is there a Filipino restaurant in Maine?
Yes.
Is there? Okay.
Oriental Restaurant, Brunswick.
Oh, okay. Oriental Restaurant Brunswick.
Okay. Doesn't sound like you've been there yet.
No, but I do. We serve Filipino dishes on our brunch, like tocino, longanisa.
Are you doing brunch these days?
Yes,
You
only
are.
Sundays now.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you stopped at one point, but now you're
Yeah,
doing it again.
because a lot of the people that just want to come and see the quarry,
Yeah.
you know, they're like, is there a little, you know, something that we could stop when we're going for a ride, you know, to just try it. So we offer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then I had some ideas for sort of, well,
Okay.
I had some ideas for what I think you should do next.
Okay.
So, but maybe I thought TikTok. TikTok sensation.
Oh my
What do you
goodness.
think?
What? They're blocking TikTok. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's true, but I can totally imagine you doing some TikTok videos.
Maybe next project.
Okay.
Now I have to buy new cameras and like I don't have anything else to do.
Top Chef? Top
No.
Chef? No?
I don't like competition. I don't know why. I just
Restaurant in Las Vegas?
no.
Los Angeles?
No, they already asked me for Portland. I said sorry, Portland, but no.
No?
I know someone asked me if I could open a restaurant in Portland, but you already have plenty of restaurants. I don't think you need Lulu here.
Should we open it up for audience questions? Is now the time? Yeah.
Thank you. This has just been such a wonderful conversation. And my question is, and maybe I'm totally off, but does it ever feel like a lot of pressure now with all this recognition and notoriety, and you know people are coming from far distances to come to your restaurant, and does it ever feel like there's a lot of expectation and that can sometimes change the feeling that you had before the award?
Yes, funny you asked that because after the award, because the reason why I never advertise, I don't even post a lot on my Facebook because I don't want to give out too high of expectation because remember, I'm a cook, right? But when I won the award, I think I developed anxiety attack because every like 5 o'clock before service, I'm kind of like nervous and like I don't know if I'm gonna throw up or I know if I gotta go to the bathroom because I used to tell my husband like I think I'm getting sick, and like every 5 o'clock I feel like I think I'm getting sick.
That's still happening, or
No.
just right after you?
Right after.
Okay.
Now I'm almost back to normal. Yeah, almost back to normal. That's why I never advertise. 'Cause now you're right. Feels like all eyes on me, that I cannot make a mistake, and I don't like that feeling. Yeah. Yes.
Somebody else?
How did you name your restaurant?
Oh, that's a good one because my husband's great grandfather, they came from Finland. Live in Monson and they work as slate quarry. In Monson, because Monson is the quarry, slate town anyways. So we name it the Quarry. Yes. Yeah, I love that.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I'd love to hear where you source your ingredients from. I mean, you talk about ginger, and we grow ginger here in Maine, so I'm just like curious of where your restaurant's ingredients come from.
I have the Spanish girl that live by us. I call it Simi. She grow a lot of my vegetable in the summer. Yes, so sometimes I might have a vegetable in the menu that I'm not, it's gonna be totally different by the time we get to the table, because sometimes he'd call and say, hey Lulu, this thing is ready, so we just crush the one we have and then get the fresher one.
Do you
Yes.
have any farms like growing specifically for your restaurant?
She does, yes.
Okay.
Yes, she asked me what I need to be planting for the season. So I would give her a list, and then she'll start the seedling and stuff pretty early.
What's on that list?
Oh, a lot of the nice, because she planted Romanesco for me and different color, broccolini, yes, she did that. So all the greens and tricolor carrots, and I just go over there and pick them out in the morning. Lots of tomatoes, yes, and lots of root vegetable also. She does.
What do you do in the winter?
What I do in the winter, I sort it out sometimes. Yeah, that it's pretty hard to get, but I get it from, I know Cisco, you get a bad reputation because they think it's all, frozen stuff. But sometimes Cisco get beautiful produce, and it's fresher sometimes than at the store, And I always ask them what's available the following week, what's coming, and that's what they usually bring me. Yes.
And have you ever thought of closing the restaurant? I'm thinking that Monson in the summer, there must be lots of visitors up there, but in the winter, who are your diners?
There's still a lot of quite people that comes here, and also I can't really close it because I feed the artists. I have artists here.
Of course, of course.
Yes, I have art, and we're only open 2 nights in the winter. Like sometimes like Friday and Saturday, or sometimes one night. Yeah.
So the night I was there were, I think there must have been 5 or 6 anniversaries.
Yes.
And there was a young couple on their honeymoon.
Yes.
Is that typical?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. There's now that I think this summer I'm getting a lot of big party reservation, like 10 to 15 people at a time. So the port is like booked a lot this summer because they can have their own party room because we could close the door now. They have their private.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty good.
Lulu, you bought the building last year.
Yes.
What are you thinking? What's next? What are your plans that made you want to do
I have a lot
that?
of plans, but I don't want to scare my husband. One at a time, because he's gonna like, oh my God, he's gonna say, what are you thinking? I'm living in Portland. I got some plan yet, but it's just gonna take a lot of planning, before we get there. Maybe a couple years.
Yeah. A couple years isn't very long.
No, I mean 2 years is like short.
Yeah.
So you'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
Other questions?
How many people can you accommodate on any given
45.
45?
Yes. But I usually just take 42 because I like elbow room. I don't like, little tiny tables for, but I like big, It's nice to have.
It's spacious.
Yes.
There's a lot of room in there.
Yeah. It is.
Where are your young cooks coming from? And if they're not local, how do you house them?
They're local. I have a house close to my parking lot. A couple of my crew rent a room there.
Okay.
So they don't even need a car because they can walk across the parking
So
lot.
where are you getting your young cooks that you're mentoring?
They're local.
Oh, they are local?
Yep. They're local. One of them is like graduating right now from EMCC.
Yeah.
So, and she's from Dover. Yeah.
And I loved Lulu, what you said about her. She's graduating culinary school and did you say she's 21?
Yes,
And
21, 22,
decided
yep.
that she's going to leave and go to a new restaurant. And Lulu said, well, that's good because I was going to kick you out.
Yeah,
And you want to say why?
because I want her to, spread her wings and go find something. It might not be like, find something that you like. Because I don't want her to be stuck at the quarry. I want her to experience different things. She can always come back because she's from Dover,
That leads me to the next question, which is, these times have presented some challenges, particularly with employment, finding staff, and also inflation. How are you handling those?
Well, because if I don't have staff, I just grab my family. Yes. My husband always there to lend a hand. I mean, she does the like dishes, run errands, and she's like the runner for supply for the artists, and yes.
Not just your husband, I remember.
My daughter.
I visited, I think it was your son's girlfriend.
Yep.
Studying radiology.
Yes.
Plating all the chocolate cake.
She's graduating too this
Yes.
this May. Yeah.
You may lose her.
Yes.
I think.
I just wanted to thank Bill for bringing you to Maine.
Yeah. There you go, Bill. Yes. Oh, I love Maine. I don't think he can get rid of me now.
That'll be good. Do we have more time, or are we? Oh, we've got one here.
Lulu, what dish do you make for yourself when you want something comforting? And can you describe what it is and what it tastes like to you?
That's silly. I am a cheap date. I have rice, vegetable, and sardines. That's my go-to. See, that's pretty easy.
Sardines. So that's why you had to come to Maine. We've a
Yeah, because
famous
yes,
right? The sardine industry.
See, now it's connecting you're right too. And I like this little thin can and this yes. Bill, my husband always stacked me with sardines. I mean, he knows bring at the restaurant and I have a stack over there because he knows I eat sardines in the morning. Breakfast. Yeah. I know you're probably thinking what? That's what I have. Sardines with arugula and rice.
Any more questions?
Kumusta? May question ba kayo? Oh, I'm speaking Tagalog.
What do you think Filipinos lack representation in Maine?
Kind of, but don't worry, we'll get there. We're doing it right now. Yes, because like I said, I serve tocino, longanisa, adobo. Yes.
Tell us what some of those are.
Adobo. Tali, you like adobo.
I love adobo, but the other two I don't know.
Tocino is cured with sugar and achuete. Achuete is it's like a seed that you get the color from. Anato.
Anato, yes.
Yes. We call it
and what is
achuete.
being cured? Is it meat?
Pork.
Okay.
Pork loin.
Okay.
And I cured that, and then it's like a candied. Instead of bacon, I match that with the eggs Benedict.
Yum.
Instead of Canadian bacon, I use that. So it's
And
just
tell
like
us the name one more time.
Tocino.
Tocino. Okay.
Tocino, yeah.
And then you had another dish that maybe
longanisa.
everyone here.
It's a sausage.
Okay.
It's like a sweet sausage, but there's no fennel, there's no spices. It's just like paprika, brown sugar, and yeah.
So are you trying to supply that somewhere? Do you make?
Everything made in house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ground the pork. I slice the tocino because it's real paper thin, so I slice it myself with knife.
I don't know. I think we might need this restaurant in Portland.
No, you have to come to Monson because that's what make it, I think, special because you have to drive, take for a drive and then You know, it's like, you know, come and visit me.
Airbnbs.
We do have Airbnbs. If you, usually on the weekend, if you book our Airbnbs, if we're open at brunch, they usually come, I tell them, come for breakfast, because I'll feed you breakfast. Brunch.
But the sardines are not on the menu.
If they want to, they can eat with me, see? But I don't think they drive all the way to Monson to have sardines with Lulu.
I don't know, I think that can be the name of your TV show, Sardines with Lulu.
Sardines with Lulu.
I like it.
My TikTok thingy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm showing my age. TikTok is where you need to go.
Oh my God, I don't even know how to post on Facebook, let alone TikTok. Yeah.
Do we have time for more, or where? One more question. You get the last one.
Thank you. Lulu, I was lucky enough to be able to eat your food and enjoy your cooking last summer for weaving.
Yes, that's why I asked.
Vegetarian, and you were so sweet. You accommodate everyone for their specific kinds of food allergies
Yes.
or preferences, and you still do that, I'm sure,
Yes.
for dinners.
Yeah.
How do you work that all out?
I think I have the advantage because growing up poor, we hardly use meat. And we never use butter, and we never use all those, like olive oil. We use coconut oil. So I do vegan and I do vegetarian. And we're going into 6 years now. I got a lot of practice because I have a lot of artists. Yeah.
But I do think going back to what hospitality, like how you felt your upbringing influenced what hospitality means
Yes,
to you.
I
that
think.
You do have a really generous, you know, sometimes when I have guests over who all have special diets, I'm grumpy. You know, like, I just wanted to make shellfish. You know?
Yeah, no,
but you have a very generous spirit about cooking for people with all kinds of particular diets.
And it's not. I think that's the easiest like food to cook. Really, those vegetarian and vegan. Well, then again, like I said, I have the advantage because I didn't learn to cook with all you guys have, like meat and butter.
Right.
We cook what we have.
Yeah.
We may do what we have on hand. So now I have a little extra to make it a little better, you know, what I was eating back home. So yes, I think, yeah, I like cooking vegan and, you know, vegetarian. You know, pretty easy, you know. Pretty easy, yes.
Well, I hope the next time that you come and we talk with you, when I say who's eaten at your restaurant, maybe everybody will have eaten it.
I see them. I see everybody here that's been at the restaurant.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. And
this is fun.